Good morning. Today is Sunday, May 15th, 2022. Today is the 14th day of Iyar, the Jewish month of Iyar, which means that it's exactly 1 month, according to the Jewish calendar, after the eve of Pesach, of Passover, and today is called Pesach Sheni, the second Passover. So this is a unique aspect of the mitzvah of Pesach, Passover, and it's not found in any other mitzvah, and that is that there is a second chance. Today is the holiday of a second chance. It's 1 month later, and when the Beis HaMikdash was standing and people were expected to come to Yerushalayim to offer the Karban Pesach, the Paschal offering, on the eve of Pesach, and then to enjoy that as the centerpiece of their Seder meal that night, so when that was taking place, you legitimately could not come to Yerushalayim from wherever you were, and you could legitimately not observe Pesach in the ideal manner, you had a second chance, and you could come and observe it 1 month later. So this is totally unique in all of Jewish life. There's nothing else like it. I mean, there's no concept. For some reason, a person was not able to observe Shabbos, so you can keep Shabbos on Wednesday. There's no such thing. A person was not able to hear the shofar on Rosh Hashanah, so a week later you can hear the shofar. There's no such thing anywhere in Jewish life. Why should this be the only mitzvah where there is a second chance? So that's a discussion for another time. I've discussed that with you before, and in fact, when I send out the daily email later today, I have 2 different explanations of why this mitzvah is unique. And of course, if you're not receiving that daily email and you want to receive it, send me a message and I will put you on the list to receive it. But Pesach Sheni was observed 1 time in modern history. It only is truly applicable when the Beis HaMikdash is standing. Today, some people have the custom today to eat matzah, but there is no binding observance, except for 1 time. In 1945, in Buchenwald. So this is a story about Rabbi Heschel Schachter. The first thing is it's a little bit confusing because there are 2 Rabbi Heschel Schachters, spelled exactly the same way, very important figures, connected with Yeshiva University, and very often people get confused between the 2, understandably. There is Rabbi Heschel Schachter, the great halakhic authority. I've quoted him to you many times. He should live and be well. He is a wonderful, wonderful person, a tremendous expert in all areas of Jewish law. There was an earlier, older Rabbi Heschel Schachter. During my time, he was the head of rabbinic placement for the RCA, and I have a tremendous debt of gratitude to him. I was very close to him, and I can say that not only did he help me in my career, I would say that he mentored and guided me, certainly in the beginning of my career when he was in this position of head of placement, as he helped so many rabbis all over the world. But earlier than that, this Rabbi Heschel Schachter was the first Jewish chaplain from the United States Army to arrive in Buchenwald. Rabbi Schachter arrived the same day it was liberated, April 11th, 1945, a week after Pesach ended. Now, of course, the Jews there, barely clinging to life, had not been able to celebrate Pesach on the proper time. And so, on April 27th, 1945, Rabbi Heschel Schachter arranged for the newly liberated Jews who had been in Buchenwald, probably the first large Pesach Sheni Seder in almost 2,000 years. Can you imagine a Pesach Sheni Seder for liberated concentration camp victims? it was a second chance at Pesach, and of course, it was for them a second chance at life. And we have a first-person account of what happened from a memoir, an autobiographical memoir by Shiku Smilovich. And listen, please, to a little bit of what he writes. This is 1 month after Pesach, just a couple of weeks after liberation. Again, Rabbi Heschel Schachter had arrived that first day, and he was still there, ministering to, caring for, lifting the spirits of the Jews who were there, who had survived, but barely. All Jews were invited by Rabbi Schachter to attend services and to eat matzah, since it was Pesach Sheni that day. The second Pesach, for Jews that couldn't observe the holiday of Pesach at the proper date. Rabbi Schachter brought matzah and distributed them to everyone. Rabbi Schachter started to deliver the sermon when suddenly he was interrupted by a fellow prisoner. And this man screamed at the top of his voice with quotes from the Torah and other scriptures. This was no plain, ordinary, everyday Jew. He spoke with authority, and he said, "Why did God forget about his children? And why were we devastated just because we're Jews?" And he continued and he said, "Before we make a blessing and eat this matzah, we want to bring God to a din Torah, to a court case." Why? Why the little children? They didn't even have a chance to sin yet. Why so many thousands of true, dedicated Torah scholars that were sitting and learning Torah day and night? You can take your matzahs back to America. I don't want them. Rabbi Schachter did not say a word, but tears flowed down his face as they flowed down the faces of everyone there. And then suddenly, this man who had been yelling, this man raced up to the rabbi and embraced him in a hug, and he wouldn't let go. And the rest of us just stood there in silence, and our tears did the talking. And then, in a loud voice, this man made the bracha, Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvosav v'tzivanu al achilas matzah. God has commanded us in the mitzvah of eating matzah, and in unison, we all said Amen, and this eyewitness says, I am sure that this blessing was heard in heaven, and all of the angels answered Amen as well. Pesach Sheni is not only a second chance for individuals to express their enthusiasm for doing the mitzvah and observing Passover if they were prevented by external circumstances from doing so at the right time. Pesach Sheni is also a second chance for the Jewish people to heal, to recover from the Holocaust, to have a second chance at life, and also, perhaps, it is a second chance for God. My friends, I want to wish you a great day and a happy Pesach Sheni. And I look forward to seeing you soon in person.